coming to the March 28th council meeting. It is 7:35. Mrs. Arcisi, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Barker.
Here.
Mr. Bilkey.
Here.
Ms. Brandt.
Here.
Ms. Tully.
Here.
And Mr. Ventura.
Here.
And now I ask Tom O'Brien, American Legion Post 801 chaplain, to lead us in prayer, and then following to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
With bowed heads, let us pray. Almighty God, Father of all mankind and Judge over nations, we pray to Thee to guide our work in this meeting. Let us pray for those who serve the people and guard the public welfare, that by Thy blessing they may be enabled to discharge their duties honestly and well. We pray for our leaders, that by Thy help they may observe the strictest justice and keep alive the fires of freedom, strive earnestly for the spirit of democracy, and preserve untarnished our loyalty to our country and to Thee. O God of mercy, we ask Thy blessing and comfort for our neighbors who may be suffering mental or physical disabilities. Cheer them and bring them Thy blessing of health and happiness. Amen. And now, please face the flag and join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien, as always. We appreciate you, sir. Okay, next up is the minutes from March 14th, 2019.
I'd like to offer that we approve the minutes for March 14, 2019 as submitted by the Clerk of Council.
Second.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next is public comments. I have Mr. Casmer from the Longwood Manor Society.
Historical.
We ask you to come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and keep it to 5 minutes or less.
Good evening, everyone. John Casmer, Chinook Trail, Macedonia, Ohio. I am giving the Longwood Manor Committee report. And since I'm the only person I'm going to give a public comment first, if you don't mind. We're in the park and we noticed I think it's the red path has been considerably improved, been re-gravelled, so looks great. Those are, yeah, we love those parks. We love those trails in the park. As to the report, we received a letter, as the mayor had said last time, from the fire chief about the result of the fire inspection. And according to that, Mr. Ripley said this is a notice we can increase the occupancy to 30 persons on the first floor. And he gave us a document that states the requirements we have to meet to allow this. And we had a meeting Tuesday. It was a monthly Longwood Manor meeting. So we started to discuss that, about complying with that. We do have 3 people that we volunteered for the fire extinguisher training. Mr. Ripley, I contacted Sherry, or I left her a message anyway that the dates that we were interested in being training. Based on that, we're going to go ahead with the event that we're having. It'll be April 23rd. The Nordonia Hills Garden Club is going to visit the manor to see the first floor, and we're going to talk to them about I hope we're going to get more help and donations and help from the garden club this year. We really want to keep working on the grounds around the manor. I think they will. So they're coming April 23rd, and that fits in. They usually have about 25 people or so that attend their meetings. So we should be under the max of 30 people that we're allowed. Thanks to the city for giving us that leeway. Secondly, I talked to John Barris before the meeting phone call, and I gave him the additional information he needs for the NOPEC grant. He needed some information about the Longwood Manor and our accounts and things, so we have talked about that. Am I understanding that the money that you got for us, the $1,000 grant money from NOPEC, is that still needs to be approved? Is that the stage it in? He's submitting the request for it now, or
No,
is
he's
it
just-
already approved?
He's finalizing the donation to the Longwood Manor Society. There's a criteria that has to be followed before they can put the funds into your account.
Oh, okay,
So
but
there
it's,
are rules that have to be followed.
okay. So it is approved, though, it has to be finalized, you're
Yeah,
saying?
once they have all the information, they'll go back to NOPEC, and then NOPEC will transfer the money over.
Okay, great, that's great. We can definitely use the money, thank you. You know, we need donations, this kind of money, NOPEC, we could use it maybe for additional lighting, and definitely for windows. We need to work on some of the windows in the manor that aren't really working properly. I think we can get them to work with some work. They're on cranks, so you crank them open, but that'll help with energy also. So that was number 2. Number 3, as I mentioned, Nordonia Hills Garden Club will come April 23rd. We're also planning an arts and craft show. So I don't have a date for that yet. That'll be sometimes this year. We're going to try to get some vendors with arts and crafts. Our vice president is an art teacher, so she's kind of leading that effort. This will be we hope, a high-level type of event. It's not a garage sale or anything. These are skilled vendors that have arts and crafts to display and to sell. That'll be sometime this summer. We'll use the first floor. We'll also use the outside, the patio in the front, and the south side of the house for that. And lastly, we also have a lecturer this year that'll be coming to the manor. I don't have a date for that either. His name is, he's a professor, Mike Olszewski. He'll talk in the, probably be in the library on early radio and television. That should be quite interesting. That's all I got.
I got a question for you, sir.
Sure.
So I know a couple of years ago that we I don't know if we passed an ordinance, I think it was an ordinance that we required anybody to do work in the manor house to register with the city. Are we still doing that? I think it was an annual.
Yes, anyone who's going to be working on the restoration, we have forms that we've had members sign that we've been turning in to Diana's office. Not everybody has filled out the forms, but this is for allowing them to do
Right,
work.
and that's what it was. We were
Understand.
worried about the city liability if
Yeah.
someone got hurt.
Right.
But, you know, so, yeah, just make sure they're up to date for us. I mean, we appreciate all that you guys
We'll
do
be
for that.
announcing anytime before we do any work, any restoration work, we'll be getting the city to approve it. We'll be sending them a notice, what we're doing, get it approved, and the people who are at the manor working will have
Should
those
their names
certificates
with the
signed.
city. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Mr. Casmer. We did handle that administratively, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. 'cause
Yeah,
I-
we had them all come in, and we have forms, and we walked them through the process, and Mark was involved in that, so
Oh,
thank
okay,
you, Mark,
that's-
too.
That's
Yeah,
good. I
the-
think it got brought up after one of the meetings and it just stuck in my head until I
Good
saw
point.
it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
the
good.
city still owns the home.
We're covering our liabilities while encouraging the repair, so thanks again, Mr. Casmer. All right, moving into pending our new legislation. First is ordinance number 22.
Mayor, I'd like to present ordinance number 22, 2019 for its second reading only by title only.
An ordinance amending section 16515 of the codified ordinances of the city of Macedonia relative to education leave.
Ordinance 24.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 24, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Emeritus Life Insurance Company for the vision care benefits for eligible Macedonia employees.
Any discussion? What's your pleasure?
I think it should be pointed out that through the hard work of our HR department, along with Fidelity Services, both the vision care and the dental will be available for the for the employees, basically in the same network. So they're not going to have to go out and search for new doctors and dentists, which is always one of the first questions I've gotten from employees. Second of all, they've done it with savings on both of them. So I would like to thank Annette for all her hard work. My pleasure is to ask that we pass and post according to law ordinance number 24, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 24 passes. Ordinance 25.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 25, 2019 for its first, second, and a third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Emeritus Life Insurance Company for dental care benefits for eligible Macedonia employees.
You want to take this one again, Madam President?
Again, for the dental, there is a savings. I think everyone knows who works, is every year around sign-up time, you kind of get the willies because you don't know what's going to happen. Traditionally, your contribution always seems to increase, and then they go, oh, but you can't use that guy anymore. And so you're at a loss, and I've, for 44 years, would scratch my head because I didn't get to pick who the provider was, the company did. Again, Annette's made a 3.48% savings on this, and being able to provide, we're changing the networks. However, the network is wider. So what she did with Fidelity was also look at who are the employees using today, and for their doctors, and that they are included in the network, but there also is a wider view. So if they wanted to change, they may have someone else that they can use.
I move to adopt ordinance number 25, 2019, and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 25 passes. Ordinance 26.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance 26, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing directing the mayor to enter into a contract with Be Well Solutions to provide employees of the city of Macedonia with a health and wellness program.
So I'll take this one. We currently use Go 365. It's a wellness program that encourages people to, have healthier activities, and you earn points that could potentially get you a day or two off a year, and it also reduces the premium that you pay for the insurance. So it kind of goes hand in hand with keeping a healthy lifestyle, and we always want to encourage that. The problem is the one we have currently is not working so well, and I gave the example in our work session, and I will again. I can go to the gym for an hour and a half, and it gives me 7 points under the system we have today, but if I walk into the rec center, I get 10 points. It just doesn't make any sense, and it has been defunct from its start. So we're moving to another program that, again, Annette has worked on very hard, that we feel will be a better benefit for our employees in the city, so we're gonna utilize that one at this point.
And I also want to point out, just like Jan said about finding the same doctor and the points that they have accrued so far this year are not going to be null and void. There's a ratio, so they'll translate over to the new program when it starts.
Also, to the point that Annette does investigating of the various programs, she found that this one that we're moving to is currently used by Kent State, City of Independence, Fidelity itself, who is our agent, and the City of Brunswick, as well as there's some wellness grants that we're going to get some money back within it. And anyone who's employed in the private sector knows you have these programs because your employer wants to keep you healthy and keep you around and keep you happy. And this is a way to help you follow different steps, whether it be through exercise or through different testing that they'll provide. And that's why, do you want to mention her health fair?
That's for internal only.
I know, but
We have a health fair at the end of the month for internal employees to talk about the new systems and the things we're going to be utilizing, and obviously the changes in our healthcare. So we're going to make sure that everyone's aware of where we're headed.
So the mayor and our HR director working together, trying to make sure we keep our employees healthy and happy with who's providing them the service. So I'd ask that we pass and post according law ordinance number 26, 2019, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 26 passes. Resolution 27.
Mayor, I offer resolution number 27, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
A resolution confirming the appointment by the mayor of Dr. Amy Arnold as a representative of the city of Macedonia to the Summit County Board of Health.
So with this one, I was contacted by the county that the current lady that was on the board has decided to step off of it. I had reached out to Dr. Arnold, having known her and her abilities as a doctor. I felt that she'd be a good fit for that. I did not put that out to other people, and I will own that, and I will, say to the public today that going forward, I won't do that again. But keep in mind too that this position doesn't pay other than some mileage, which I believe was said to be 52 cents a mile, which I can tell you that I'm on the NOPEC board of directors, and I don't even put the mileage in because it's not worth the hassle that comes along with it. So I don't know what she would do with that. I don't know what her plan is, but I know that she'd be a good fit. I know that she's a very talented doctor and also a great resident of this community. So that's why I nominated her. So, what is your pleasure?
I ask that we pass and post resolution number 27, 2019, the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain.
Resolution 27 passes. Ordinance 28.
I move to offer ordinance number 28, 2019, for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew the contract with the Ohio Municipal Joint Self-Insurance Pool for liability coverage for the third year of the 3-year contract beginning April 1, 2019.
Any discussion?
I want to thank Mr. Varias for doing a good job looking into it. I don't know how you get the rates lower, but I'll assume that you did that. You lowered the rates. Good job. So we'll be saving some money
Lower
this
the
year.
rates by capping off how much we were insuring.
And I believe you saved us around 13%, is that correct? 13.5, was it?
Yeah.
Translated to 15,000.
13.
And
13%, 15,000.
Right.
the best part about it is, had our new finance director, Mr. Veras, not caught that, we could have been in some serious trouble, because obviously we've had a transition in that role, and thankfully he caught that, because we would have been probably in a little bit of a bind if we had not addressed that issue. So, with that being said, what is your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance number 28, 2019 to the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 28 passes. Ordinance 29.
Mayor, I offer ordinance number 29, 2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing directing the mayor to enter into a contract with Specialized Construction, Inc. for the repair of various streets of the 2019 road program.
I'll open up the discussion on this one. This is approving our 2019 road program. This is the lowest bid that we had for what we have proposed this year. It's through Specialized Construction, and they came in at 1.648, and the highest came in at 1.777, which was actually below our engineer's estimate. So we actually have a little bit of money left over for some alternate items that we're going to be working on. And we also hope that that comes in lower at the end of all of that, so we can do some more of the alternates that we need to address with our roads. So we also have those all listed on our website. We'll have a social media push with this. I can tell you that with me being in this role, I'm trying to communicate as much as possible. We'll have letters going out, social media, we'll do all the things we're supposed to do. I'm even looking into possibly putting signs up, but I don't know how effective that would be at this point. So just so everyone's aware, we are, again, we're utilizing those funds we got for roads to correct the problems that we have, and that's what this is approving today.
And it's not only just, I think there are 10 roads, and on the program this year, but it's also the maintenance of the roads that we have that are not getting total rebuilt today, and the stuff that we've already paved. That's exactly how it's supposed to be working, so me and Nick thanked each other the other day for it.
It's doing all of this,
Yep.
this list. There's over 20 roads on it.
10 are getting
Of
paid. the other
various
are-
different activities, and you have this list on the website. So if you're wondering what's gonna happen and on what road, take a look at the website.
And another thing that we're starting this year that we've never done is maintenance, which to me it makes me very happy because I come from the world of road repair and things like that. So I can tell you one thing they're using is called reclamite. Essentially, when a road sits and water and the sun start to bleed it dry and all the emulsions that are in the pavement come out of it, that's when you start to see a road break apart. We're utilizing reclamite on one road to put those emulsions back in to extend its life, something we've never done before. And I'm pretty excited to see these types of things happening because we're extending life, we're saving money down the road, and we're starting to get back on track with our infrastructure. So I'm very proud to get this pushed through today. So what is your pleasure?
I move to adopt 29-2019 and post the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 29 passes. Ordinance 30.
I'd like to offer ordinance 30-2019 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An emergency ordinance authorizing directing the mayor to participate in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2019.
Any discussion?
Got a lot of salt. This is just getting more.
Mr. Nanavans, do you want to touch on this?
This is every year, this is what we go through to contract through ODOT. This is a large collaboration of communities that gives us buying power and negotiating contracts from our two biggest suppliers that are out here, both Cargill and Morton. We have to predetermine what we want to order for the year, so it's, I don't want to say it's a guessing game, but you try to estimate with the way the winters change. And then we're locked into that purchase to either buy 90% of what you've ordered, or you can go in excess of 110% above what you've ordered. Also, if you start to run low, on some years you have that option also to buy additional with that negotiated price. So looking forward to seeing what the number's gonna be this year. I have no idea. I don't do the negotiation over it. It's just getting us into the program and keeping us there.
Who does do the negotiations for us?
It's all through ODOT,
Okay,
but it's
a
buying
pool.
power because multiple
Oh, so they
communities are all
negotiate with
involved,
Morton.
yeah.
gotcha.
And there's buying power with more communities, obviously, so there's a pool that, goes into it, and the more that are in there, if it works the way it's supposed to, we should save money. And we did this year again, and I'll say it again, we got it for $55 a ton. We actually hosted a meeting here earlier this week. It's called the Mayor's Association of Portage, Summit, and Stark, and some of those communities were saying they paid over $100 a ton. We got it for 55, thanks to Director Notavange getting on top of it, and our bins are already full for next year, so we have a little bit of an advantage going forward here. So, thank you.
How many companies are out there that,
Two.
so if they ever got together, they could say, we'll charge whatever we want.
Well, that falls under the monopoly.
There was a community who was actually purchasing salt in Egypt, the Himalayan salt. I wanted to see how that worked. I need some pink salt around the road, but and someone was actually purchasing from them because they couldn't get into the bid.
Well, on top of all that, in the Mayor's Association, we also talked about, we all have rails that run through our towns. And one thing that we know is that, on a barge, we'd be able to get a lot more salt over. And, a lot of your cost comes with the transportation of it. So we were talking about having an area where all the communities that are in that association come together, buy the salt, have it in an area that we could share and disperse it from there. So we're also looking at other options. It's something that we're always trying to save money. What is your pleasure?
Move we pass and post ordinance 30-2019 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 30 passes. Ordinance 31.
Mayor, I offer ordinance number 31, 2019 for its first, second, and third readings by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the American Fireworks Company for the Spirit of Macedonia Fun Fest.
And what's your pleasure?
I move to pass and post ordinance number 31, 2019 to the same according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And boom goes the dynamite. We have fireworks at our Spirit of Macedonia Festival this year. Are there any other motions or legislative actions? Hearing
No,
none,
no 30-year-old employees this week?
no. Hearing none, we'll go into correspondence from the clerk.
I have none, sir.
Hearing none of that, we'll go into mayor's report. First thing I want to talk about tonight is, I want to congratulate our acting captain, Chip Davis. Obviously, with Captain Ripley going into the role of acting chief, we had to backfill that position, so we have Chip Davis assuming that role at this point. We have Earth Day, April 13th, from 9 to noon. I'm sure John will be talking about that today. I encourage everyone to come out for that. It's actually a nice event. You know, they provide lunch, you get a T-shirt, but I'll leave that for you.
He just said it all.
Well, there's more to it, but I think you get a bag of chips too, right? So.
Granola bar.
Chips,
Get donuts in the
Don't
morning.
you ever come? A granola bar.
Get there in the morning, get donuts.
those were mine, now I can share.
We had a conversation in our work session too about the gas tax that's come up. There's been a lot of questions about it, and I don't know where it stands today, but I know that it went to the Senate, and it started at 18 cents in the House, went down to 6 cents. And just to give everyone an idea of where we would stand with that, today, what we get from the gas tax to be utilized only for roads and things that associate with the roads is $491,341. If the 6 cents gas tax goes through, we will get $649,644, which, again, we can utilize that for more road paving. And I can tell you with the 0.25% that we passed, it does not cover the paving of all our roads. I mean, we probably have another $10 million in roads to go, but the nice thing about what we're doing is we're starting to space these things out so that 20 years from now, it's not the entire town that needs to be paved. So we're starting to move away from doing so many roads at once. But last year was obviously not something that's normal for us. That's something like an Akron or a Cleveland or Columbus does. But we did it here, and I'm very proud of that, and I know this council's very proud of that.
Well, and our lawyer, Mark, checked. It's back in committee.
Yeah.
They haven't passed.
Yeah, the House is
Any of them.
insisting on their proposals, and they've requested a conference committee, so it's unforeseen how long that'll take to get processed.
So the governor wanted 18 cents, the House said 10, the Senate said 6. And so now they're hopefully gonna settle at 8.
And it was last year. We did 33 roads last year. The year prior to that, I think we did 9.
Oh,
33 was last year.
was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, where have I been? That's right, we did them all, yeah.
Clean up them cobwebs.
That's right, no, I thought it was 2 years ago, but it was last year.
It was last year.
I just got a letter on March 21st, and it's from the Ohio Public Works Commission, and I want to thank our engineer, Mr. Gelati, who's on vacation at this point. We apply to get funding for roads. We don't always get it, but they can always throw something to us that's beneficial to us. The big thing we've been talking about with the city of Macedonia is there's obviously some big roads that we want to hit. We had an option to do one road this year, which would have been Valley View Road, or we could have done the 10 or 11 roads we're doing currently. They have approved us for a 0% loan for over almost $1 million. So that's something that I've talked to all of council here, and it's something we're going to see going forward, and hopefully council will approve that, because it's a 0% loan on $1 million road is something nice that we want to obviously take care of. And if you've driven down the second half of Valley View Road that we haven't paved yet, you know it's pretty rough, and we recognize that. So I'm going to encourage council in the next meeting to pass this. We're trying to pay cash for all of our roads currently. This would be obviously a loan at 0%, which when they offer you this kind of thing and you don't take it, it doesn't look good and you don't get it again. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this through and pave the second half of Valley View Road, which we are actually saving for next year, because we're leaving cash in the kitty still. We're not spending every dollar we have, and we're trying to be more conscious of our dollars and how we're utilizing them. So that's coming.
Just, you mind if I add on to that?
Good.
Because I think the loan's for 20 years, correct?
It's a 20-year loan. They cover 90, it's a 90%, so we have to put up $100,000, and then it's $44,000 a year for 20 years.
So, and just to add to the benefits, the $44,000 we spent in 2020 is not gonna be the same amount of what $44,000 would be down the road, so. And we'll see this in legislation in the next couple of weeks, I hope.
That's a very astute observation, Kevin.
It's free money.
I was going to touch on the Spirit of Macedonia Festival, but I see Director Manley over there chomping at the bit, so I'll leave that one for you. One of the last things I want to talk about is the Rec Center addition. There's been a lot of questions lately about the Rec Center and why it's taking so long, and I'm going to address it again, and I think we talked about this in our last meeting. We're doing this work for the most part in-house. We estimated that project to be around $900,000, and I think currently we're around 650, John, is that correct?
Right around, yeah.
So we have a significant savings. I ask everyone to be, please be patient. It's taking longer than expected. We've uncovered some problems, we're working through them. There's been some issues with our fire suppression system, and anytime you do this kind of thing, it's difficult, and I give a lot of accolade to Director Nadavans because he's taken the brunt of a lot of this, and that's a hard project to manage on top of everything else that's going on in our service department. So I want to thank you and tell you that, you know, saving those dollars I know means a lot. And I want to tell the residents that please be patient with us. When this thing's done, I promise you, you'll be very, very proud of it. Because I've been in there and I've seen the progress and we're moving along, but we want it to be right. We're not going to rush through it. We're not going to hire contractors to come in there and, you know, suck out all the rest of the money we have. We want to have that savings that we can utilize for the future. So I don't have a date, but I can tell you that it's moving right along, and I go there more often than I care to admit, but we're getting there. And thank you, Mr. Nadavans.
Has the fire suppression issue been resolved? Or is it still ongoing?
Yeah, we have the plans made out for installation, but was seeking out multiple quotes for it. It is a significant savings from the original plan of having what we were going to install, but we had to make modifications, and it's nearly cut the price in half what it was originally going to cost us. But getting additional quotes on it just to keep everyone honest, and then we'll be moving forward very shortly with that.
And finally, what I'm going to end with every meeting is put the phone down and please don't drive distracted. Moving on to committee reports.
Parks and Rec Committee meets next Wednesday at 6 p.m. upstairs at the Rec Center. That's it.
Department reports. Director Nadavans.
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor had mentioned before, yes, our Earth Day / Arbor Day event is April 13th from 9 a.m. to noon. First 100 participants will receive seedlings. Everyone will receive a free T-shirt from us, as well as light snacks in the morning, and a lunch will be provided at 11:30. We will take you out in our city trucks to go around the town and help us pick up the rubbish and spruce up the city, as we always do. And also, between April 6th and 14th, a dumpster will be located in front of City Hall at the drive going out to 82 for any of your household cleanups. No hazardous waste, of course, but if you want to clean out that garage for the spring cleaning, the dumpster will be available for residents to bring their items up there. Also, our rain barrel workshop for April has been sold out, but not to worry, we have another one in May, on May 22nd, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you want to see what it's about and just show up and not have to buy a rain barrel, come and see it for yourselves. It is a lot of fun. $50 does buy a rain barrel, and you get the downspout diverter and spigot with that, and we show you how to put them together. And to register and pay, you have to contact Kate Chappell with Tinkers Creek Watershed, and her phone number is 330-963-6243, or katechappell@tinkerscreekwatershed.org. And that's all I have.
Thank you. One question to add on to there. We had a lot of questions about shredding lately, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I know we put it out on our website and on social media, but do you remember what those
The
dates
exact
are?
date, was it July 6th?
I have it because I'm the one that asked him.
Yeah, he did ask.
As soon as I find his text.
Let him answer.
I think. I don't have it in front of me.
July 6th, 9 to 12, at Longwood Park, limit of 10 boxes. Staples are okay, but no clips.
No clips. And that'll be held at the Oval by the Pavilions at Longwood. We've moved that location from City Hall here because it allows us to manage traffic a whole lot better there with the long drive.
And that's posted on the website, correct?
We just got that.
Yes, it should be fine.
Thank you.
Director Manley.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a lot of programs coming up here in the spring, so I encourage people to follow us on social media or check out our website to get a full listing of everything that is being offered and that is available. I just wanted to highlight a few of those programs. We have a family aquatic Easter egg hunt scheduled for Friday, April 12th. That starts at 5:30 p.m. and goes to 7:30. We have pizza, photo ops with the Easter Bunny, treats and gift bags for the kids. So it should be a really fun time. Boaters Safety Education course put on by ODNR, Thursday, May 9th. That lasts for 3 Thursdays in a row. That is for anyone, I believe the age now is born after 1982, who wants to operate anything over 10 horsepowers. They are required to take this course, and we will be offering that at the rec center. A citywide community garage sale. This is our 3rd year, and we are moving it up this year into May. So the dates this year are May 18th and 19th. Any household in Macedonia can participate. If you'd like to get your address on a list so that people know all of the homes who are participating, you can do that by contacting us. For an additional fee, you can also list items that you will be selling if there's anything you want to highlight or feature. And as the mayor mentioned, the Spirit of Macedonia Fun Fest will be taking place June 6th through the 9th. Plans are underway, actually almost finalized. We are accepting sponsors at this point, community booth vendors and pet expo vendors for our Yappy Hour that we added this year. So any questions pertaining to that event can be directed to me. I'm happy to speak with anyone interested in becoming involved. Thank you.
I had a question about Longwood Lake. What's the name of the lake back there? Lake Longwood. How often does it get stocked? And if there's anybody that we can call, or does it, how does we go about getting more fish in there other than little bluegill?
Getting it stocked, you do have to pay for that. You have to purchase fish from a hatchery. The last time, unless John remembers differently, it was probably about 4 years ago, I believe. And it usually comes down to funding.
Okay, so I thought the Walmart, didn't they do something with donating fish one year? The year that we would do the
We used to have the fishing with the kids.
Walmart we do have a community fishing day
Right.
still, and that's funded by a grant that we apply for each year. The Walmart program was prior to this grant. Walmart used to have a grant program that they offered that they had discontinued.
Okay.
They didn't stock it, but they did donate items such as bait, tackle, rods, and I believe they may have donated some dollars that we put towards stocking the pond. But that program has since been discontinued.
There is quite a few fish in there. We were up there and Greg saw them all and he could tell me what kind they all were as a fisherman.
It's amazing, and I do know people do release fish in there. They have to, based on some of the things that are caught there. I can only assume that people are releasing things there too.
Do we ever catch that
So
alligator?
anyone who's not catching fish is using the wrong bait. That's what we're saying.
Not catching one doesn't mean the fish aren't there. Ask Greg.
Do we catch the piranhas that were in there? I'm joking. Director Veras.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to update everyone on the income tax refund process. We've been reviewing and getting each request application ready for a check. I will be submitting an amendment to the appropriations so we can start giving those checks out on after the April 11th council meeting.
What's the deadline for filing that?
Good question.
I think it's
I think
July
it was July
31st.
It's July.
15th, I thought. We might have
15th,
changed it, though,
right,
yeah.
Thank you. Chief Ripley.
Thank you, Mayor. Captain Davis spent this week up at Appleton, Wisconsin, actually working on our new truck, mounting all the equipment, and then it's going to go to a big show. Actually, I won't be at the next council meeting because I will be at the show. It's going to be Pierce Manufacturing's main piece for the show, so we're excited about that, and it's looking really good. Other than that, I guess there were some questions about all the fire hydrants with the yellow tape on them. That actually those are out-of-service hydrants. That's the simplest way to mark them. Cleveland Water's been notified. It usually takes them a while. In our industrial or retail areas, if we have multiples in a row out, I harp them a little harder to get them out. Every fire truck in our fleet, 4 of them have at least 1,000 feet of supply, and the one sitting in Sagamore, because of the area of no hydrants, has 2,200 feet of supply. So It's really operationally for us, not a big deal. It'll be a bigger deal for the police department. For more traffic, we'll screw up if we have to do that, but, we work on it, we notify them. Cleveland Water wants to be notified at the end of our flushing season of all the out-of-service hydrants. So that's the process.
Thank you. And is there an average time for repair? I know you said Cleveland City Water, which just gives me goosebumps,
No.
because there are more than one, and they're close, so.
Well, I've had residents call, I've told them, they've asked permission to call Cleveland Water. I've said, go ahead. One gentleman in the spring called me frustrated because he had called them back because it was not repaired from the previous year. They said, we never knew about it. He's like, I called you. And he said they've wakened the giant, and he called them twice a day for 3 months. And then they came out and fixed it. The sad part was, 2 weeks after they fixed it, they got struck by a car. So. But those we take care of. Those under our contract are our responsibility. We pay for it out of water, M&E, and I get them repaired within a week. So.
And they're not the most efficient operation out there, and I'll leave it at that. And I do battle with them pretty often on a
That was
number
a
of different
polite way to
issues.
say that.
And that's the end of my report.
So at the end, so during that show, we'll have all the Macedonia sticker and logos on it. That'll be pretty,
Yes,
that'll
sir.
be pretty good.
Get lots of pictures.
I have a video now of Chip walking around the truck with the vendor that was mounting the equipment, so it's pretty exciting.
No teasers, chief. Let that one slide.
There might be a transformer show up for Jessica.
Come out with the calendar, the 2020 calendar, and the new truck will be in the background.
We won't need fire hydrants if you've got a transformer truck.
Lieutenant Yakupovich,
I have no report, Mayor.
Director Gaddetti.
No report, sir.
Any unfinished business? Any new business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Said the opposed before you.